Hi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Rasid. I'm 28 years old, born and bred in Johor Bahru.
We'll move into 5 quick personal facts about yourself. Would you like to tell us about your family?
My father was born in Kampung Pasir. He was raised there, and his only mode of actually earning in the 70s was running a small family-run F&B outlet over in Kampung Pasir. And from there, he has moved to so many locations all around Johor Bahru, JB Town, Bandar JB, Johor Jaya, Taman Pelangi, and running all the F&B businesses that he owns. Of course, up and down with the economy and everything, we have faced so many challenges with running a business over in Johor Bahru, despite having Singapore next to us and such. But as a family, we grew up looking at Johor Bahru, the city, in a different perspective than most of the people who just come and visit. The people of Johor are very proud people, and all my family grew up in Johor Bahru. I've got 10 siblings, 3 mothers. All grew up in Johor Bahru, went to school in Johor Bahru, and I'm married with 2 beautiful princesses. My eldest is now 5 years old and going to school soon.
Let's move a bit into your educational background.
I started my education with my primary school. I went to Sekolah Kebangsaan Nong Chik. I think people of JB actually definitely have heard of this school. I finished my UPSR and went to my secondary school is Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Aminuddin Baki JB. A lot of people are confused, JB, Aminuddin Baki JB and Aminuddin Baki KL actually. So I went to Aminuddin Baki JB, spent the whole 5 years there, did my SPM there. After that, what I did was I got an offer for STPM in the school right opposite, which is Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Sultan Ismail. So I did my STPM over there. But after my STPM, during my STPM, I felt that I did not want to further my studies at that point, and straight away ventured into the working world.
A bit on a lighter note, let's talk about your hobbies.
My hobby, I've got a few, but I would say the first one is reading. I love reading. Not necessarily books. It could be articles, research papers, everyday news updates. And I believe that reading has helped me to look at things perspectively, and that way I can get updated in things that are going on in the world and reflect on the things that is going on in Malaysia and how we can replicate or use some of the things to improve our day-to-day life. But other than reading, I would say my other hobby is gaming. I think the 90s kids understands. We grew up with PlayStation, Nintendo, Game Boy and such, right? But of course, being very busy with the working world and such, I think most people don't have time to play so much games anymore. I think that's about it. But I think the most important and the most enjoyable thing that I do is spending time with my kids, and spending time with them would just release all the stress that I have and just have a good time.
What about your favorite artist or actor or a specific movie? Since you love reading, maybe a favorite author of yours?
A favorite author of mine, I would say Paulo Coelho. And the book that inspired me that he wrote was The Alchemist. The book actually entails about the journey of a man discovering his path in life with so many values that a person should have in order to achieve or in order to live a life that is useful to others. So there's so many values that in the book that I believe that should be implemented in a person, and there are so many examples as well that are of the things that we are supposed to avoid as a person. If talking about actor, I think my favorite actor would be Johnny Depp. Not because of the movies, not because of the characters that he played, because how he made those characters alive, right? I think you can give him any character and he can bring the character alive, and you'd believe that. So a certain level, you believe the things that comes out of the character's mouth. It actually impacts you. I think, yeah.
Alright, you spoke about The Alchemist, the book itself, right? If you can just tell us what is the one key takeaway from the book that's actually drawn you into the world of politics, or for that matter, even thinking about the people of our nation?
I think the one thing that is closest, and the one thing that I think is very reflective on our political landscape is how, in the book, shows that there are so many. Can we repeat that question, please?
Now I'm going to be like, oh, how did I word my question?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you tell us what is the one key takeaway or message that has brought you into the world of politics, giving importance to the people of our country?
Okay, I don't believe there's one value or one specific thing that is much more important than the other. But I think in the book it shows the journey of the man, and he got so many challenges that he faced, and one of it was seduction towards doing the bad thing, the wrong thing, and such. And I believe that's our politics currently. People are getting seduced. People are being offered so many offers to change party, to topple governments and such. And I believe that all politicians of Malaysia should be able to hold themselves with integrity and not fall into this kind of offers and betray the mandate that people has given them.
Fantastic. Let's move a bit into your achievements.
I would share maybe my professional achievements. I started off my working career with nothing but STPM. I don't have a diploma, I don't have a degree. I started working from the very bottom of the chain. I've washed toilets, I've washed dishes, I've been a waiter, I've done so many things. And all of these things have taught me tremendous and has given me tremendous and great experience. And one thing that I did was always improve myself in everything that I do. I always learn and learn and learn and learn, and I believe that there's no end in learning. And consistently doing that allows me to grow in the working world that I was in at the time. I was in the F&B industry. So starting from the busboy to becoming a senior staff, to a supervisor, to an assistant manager, to a store manager, and all the way up. And I was very young at the time, and I was very eager. I still am very eager to learn, and until today, I've not stopped learning. I've not stopped growing, and I'm right now a retail operations manager, looking at so many aspects of business, which allows me to see the market clearly. And this all was done without a formal education. And I believe so many Johorians, I think so many people of Johor Bahru can do the same as well. And we have so many talented people in Johor Bahru, and I'm one of them, and I've met so many of them out there. And it's very important for everybody to keep on learning and improving in life, and that should also reflect on our governance and our government, which should improve daily, which should improve from time to time.
Amazing indeed. How did you get your start in politics? What was the push factor that wanted you to become the people's representative?
Honestly, I believe that being a people's representative is a very, very big responsibility. It's a heavy weight on heavy weight on the shoulders, and it's not easy to decide to actually go down this path. But the reason why I actually took the step was I've already seen so many people promising so many things to the country, to the people, but none of them has actually realized those things. Even if they do, it's only a small percentage of the things that they had promised. When in fact, what I want, what my friends want, what so many people want is just a good life, growth, a good job, good education, and equal opportunity. But these things are not available. These things are not there. If it is there, there isn't enough. I believe that I have to do it myself, and I cannot entrust it to anyone else anymore. And I will make sure that these things happens in Johor.
Very nicely said. How do you think Johor has changed from now to then? How do you envision Johor to be in the next 5 years down the road?
Okay, as I said earlier, I was born and bred in Johor Bahru. My parents was born and bred in Johor Bahru. We have seen Johor for so long that we know exactly what's going on. We understand exactly what's going on. I'm not talking about me myself. I'm talking about the whole of people who are living in Johor Bahru. And it's important for the government to understand that, for people who are in power to understand that the people are not stupid. They understand what's going on. You see a lot of development in Johor Bahru actually, and you know, people of Johor are very proud people. So when we see tall buildings, towers here and there being built, right? So many people started feeling proud. But when they understand that, the fact that even though these buildings are rising up, we can't actually afford to even buy a unit in the building. When you see big shopping malls being built in Johor Bahru, there are so many shopping malls being built in Johor Bahru. The fact that I have friends, I myself was one of them, who went in 10 a.m. in the morning, went out 10 o'clock at night. We went in, there was still sun. When we go out, there was no more sun. It's already night time. Even working with that hours, with that much of working, I still can't afford. So many of my friends still can't afford to spend in that shopping mall. For me, this is very worrying. So if you're talking about how I envision Johor Bahru for the next 5 years, I'm talking about I want a Johor Bahru that has better job opportunity, better economic growth, not just foreign investment that goes into real estate business. I want Johor Bahru and Johor to be properly industrialized, commercialized. We've got so many good products, we've got so many good places to go in terms of tourism. We got rural tourism, we got island tourism, we got very beautiful beaches. Our eco-tourism is amazing. I want to make sure that Johor Bahru becomes a place. When people hear Malaysia, they want to come to Johor. They want to come to Johor Bahru. When people talking about finding jobs, they want to come Johor. They want to come to Johor Bahru.
That's extremely visionary of you. You're aware you're going against veterans and parties that have been around for umpteen years now. If you wouldn't mind sharing with us, what is your strategy, or what are you going to do differently from all those that have been around for years now?
When people talk about politics, right? People always think of it as a game of chess, where there has to be a strategy, what moves you want to do next and such. But I believe that politics of service is much more important than having strategies and games behind the scene and such. So I think so long that I serve the people, as long as I'm doing the job right, so long that I'm practicing politics of value, I think the people will decide what's best for them. I think people of Johor are very brilliant people. Johor politics has time and time again shaped Malaysian political landscape, and this time is one of the time that Johorians will have to decide where are we going for the next 5 years, because when they elect the new state assembly members this time, they are gonna have to live with that choice for the next 5 years.
Enlightening indeed. What would your political stand be for the people of Johor Bahru?
My political stand, I believe that, again, I'll repeat, we'll do a lot of politics of service as what we have been doing since the formation of MUDA in Johor. Will always have to be, it's always important for every single members, every single people who are working, especially people's representatives. It's very important to remember that it's not your voice, it's not your decision, it's not your moves that's important. I believe what's important is bringing up the voice of the people who elected you into the state assembly and making sure that all their worries and concerns are solved. If not today, there should be a plan and there should be a framework on how to get those things done.
What is that one quote that gets you pumped up or motivates you to get through the day?
I believe the one quote, and this is also the same quote that made me join politics actively. In order to get things done, is simply to begin.
Do you know who was said by?
I don't know specifically, but I got it from a friend's father, who told me that I should actually go into it, because he believed that this is the time for the youngsters. He shared that he wanted a country in which his grandchildren can live happily, his grandchildren can grow up and have a good education and a good job opportunity. So he gave me the quote, and I still remember it until today.
Interesting. To add on, Mahatma Gandhi once said, to make the change, you've got to be the change.
That's true.
Who inspires you and why?
My biggest inspiration is my father. He's a very stand-up and proud man, and he has brought all of us in the family all over Johor. He's been making sure that there's always food on the table. Doesn't matter how hard the economy gets. Doesn't matter, it's either whether it's the 98, 2008 when the economy was bad and such. We had very, very, very tough time with the business, with even just putting food on the table. But he never gave up. He always pushed through, and he always made sure that everything's fine for everybody in his house. And I'm also very thankful of him, because all of the things that he's taught me. He taught me a lot of values of life, and as a person, I want to be like him. And if I could do and help more people with those values, I'll gladly do it again and again.
What would your first order of action be should you win the Johor PRN?
We've been doing a lot of I think amazing work with the team in Johor Bahru over the past years. But my first order of action would be making sure that whoever give any promise at all, whether we form the government or not, whoever give any promise at all to the people, I want to make sure that all this promise is realized. And I want to help by making sure that everybody understands that all the problems that they are facing currently in their localities actually has a solution. As an example, there's so many people still doesn't know what are the responsibilities of the local council and who to call when there's this problem. But then what I will do is I will provide a solution for this. I will always be there to make sure that all these solutions are addressed, and all the relevant. I will make sure that all the relevant parties are doing what they're supposed to. All the relevant agencies are doing what they're supposed to, because this will definitely and slowly make Johor a better place when everybody and all the agencies are doing what they're supposed to do.
Save Johor, save Malaysia is the slogan of our campaign. What is the personal significance to you?
As I mentioned earlier, we Johorians are very proud people. I believe that there's no one, nor politician, nor businessman, nor anybody who can decide the livelihood and the future of the people of Johor other than the people of Johor themselves. When we have politicians running around playing games, toppling governments, changing ministers, dissolving state assemblies, without even thinking about the people, when they are only thinking about power, and the arrogance of their action should be stopped. This has happened in Malacca. This is now happening in Johor, and I believe that if they manage to achieve what they want to achieve in Johor, they will continue the same thing in other states until they are satisfied. And these are people who are hungry, and there's no stopping them later. So I believe that we have to stop them now.
It's now or never. Yeah.
Yes.
3 things we need to learn, do, or say to bring in the semangat of Malaysia Baru.
I think the one thing that Malaysia has to learn is, all of Malaysia have to learn is to ask questions, to always ask questions, especially to your elected representative. They are responsible to answer your questions. If you have doubts, they have the responsibility to clear your doubts. So Malaysians can and be a better place if everybody asks the question and asks the right question. And I'm sorry, the second one was?
3 things we need to learn, do, or say to bring in the semangat of Malaysia Baru.
Okay, so the first one just now was learn, right? So I already mentioned that we have to learn to ask questions. And what we need to do is to make sure that, can we start the question from the top? I don't like my answer.
No worries, sure.
Yeah.
Over the top for the
That question.
That question.
Yeah.
Can you tell us 3 things that we need to learn, do, or say to bring in the semangat of Malaysia Baru?
Okay. The one thing, and I always tell this to my friends, I'll always tell this to my family members and everybody that we meet, is to ask questions. We always have to question. Doesn't matter who's in power, doesn't matter who's elected. You have to always ask the right question to them, to make sure that they can't simply do whatever they want, and we can always clear our doubts. We are talking about elected representatives. They have the responsibility to the people who elected them. So always ask questions to these people. Doesn't matter what the questions are, just ask the questions. But when we ask the question, make sure it's a question that is beneficial to the society. As per what we have to do, I think everybody have to take action. Everybody have to take action. We shouldn't wait for other people to get things done. Everybody have to do their part to make Malaysia better, to make Malaysia great, to make Malaysia a great developed country. And the thing that I think we should say every single day, the things that we think is good for Malaysia. We should share this with people. We should say this on a daily basis, what we believe would be the best thing for Malaysia, and these things that we say should be the aspiration for Malaysia.
I think that's very fantastically said. One word. You love?
Life.
Your biggest pet peeve is?
Cockroaches. Especially flying ones.
Alright, we've come to the end of the interview. Thank you very much, Rasid, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.